World History Part 3: China, the Maya, the Inca, and the Mississippian People by Think Saplan. This is the part 3 of the series, so if you want to see the other parts of the World History series, you have to go back in the series and catch up. Disclaimer: this video is for educational purposes only. It is not political, not opinion-based, and not meant to take any side. I'm only explaining the school curriculum topics in a simple and factual way. China. The Qin dynasty. It emerged in the 3rd century BC. The first emperor, Shi Huangdi, from 221 to 206 BC. The victories doubled China's size. He commanded noble families to live in the capital city to destroy power of rival warlords, and then seized their land. Unifying China. They built the highway network, over 400 miles, and forced peasants to work. Did irrigation projects increase? So basically they had irrigation projects and it increased their farm production. And merchants spread trades in the Qin dynasty. The Great Wall of China. The Great Wall of China was built to keep the Mongols out and protect themselves from invaders. Shi Huangdi worked to close the gaps of the land, and it was 3,106 miles long. 400,000 peasants died while making the wall. Today's Great Wall construction didn't start until 1474. Confucianism. It's China's ancient values of social order, harmony, and respect for authority. So who started Confucianism? Confucius. He was China's most influential scholar, born in 551 BC. He stressed the importance of respect for parents and elders. He said that there were 5 basic relationships: ruler and subject, dad and son, husband and wife, older and younger siblings, and friend and friend. Taoism. Tao was the way. There was a universal force called the Tao, which guides all things. I Ching was a book of oracles that answered ethical problems. Yin and Yang was also part of Taoism, as in balance. The Mississippian People. The indigenous people. The indigenous people of the U.S. ruled the land before the Europeans took over. They composed of varying groups, bands, and tribes. The history is rich. There were 565 federally recognized tribes and villages in the U.S. The Mississippian Society. It went from 8,700 to 81,600. The Mississippian people continued to live in tribes and lived in permanent shelter. Tribes joined together and formed large nations, division of labor, protection, and safety. They used shark teeth as arrowheads and built burial mounds and religious centers for religious ceremonies, and priests and chiefs. The indigenous people of the Southwest. It was more known for its architecture. They were excellent builders. They built pueblos, cliff dwellings, which were built into the mountains. There were deep pits and called kivas, and served as religious temples for the ancient Anansi. The sleeping areas were built into the sides of the cliff. Agriculture. They used sophistical irrigation to grow corn, beans, and squash, and planted and eat. And since they were planted and eaten together, the crops known as the Three Sisters. The Maya. The Yucatan Peninsula. Maya lived on it, and it was spread out over 125,000 miles. High and low lands with mountains and valleys. The early Mayan civilization. The Maya began working the land in 1800 BC. They built small farming villages. By 200 AD, villages grew into cities. Well, some of them did, but some didn't. Warriors fought over land and power. There was no ruler which united the entire kingdom. So Mayan cities, temples, agriculture, and economy. Mayan cities and temples. They were built around religious centers. They built flat-topped pyramids from limestone. Mayan agriculture. They farmed on the sides of hills, built raised fields in wet lowlands, and dug water systems for irrigation, and moved good soil to areas of bad soil. The Mayan economy was that they grew corn, beans, and squash, and they traded extra food, and they received other good foods in return, such as cocoa beans, which held great value and this used as money. The Mayan religion. They were polytheistic and thought rulers could influence God, and since they wanted to keep the gods happy, they gave dead animals as offerings. The Mayan ball game. So this was basically played by hitting a rubber ball through some stone rings. A bunch of people came to watch and make bets, and slaves' homes and land could be won or lost. The captain of the losing team got beheaded. Achievements. They achieved hieroglyphics, astronomy, and math. They were the first to use zero. The end of the Maya. The collapse is still a mystery, as they thrived for about 600 years. By 700 CE, cities were abandoned to the jungle. The Inca. Geography. It was the Peru and the Andes Mountains. The Inca Empire originated in the village of Andes Mountains of South America. It's 15 miles south of Cusco, which was the capital. The government land. The government created collective farms. All land was owned by the government. There is no written records of history. Religion. They were polytheistic and headed by Inti, the sun god. The festival was held every month for gods. There was a ritual of sacrificing animals. The Incans were also mummified. Machu Picchu. They were located on a mountain ridge in Peru, built in 1430. Today is known as the lost city of the Incans. Achievements. There was terrace farming, the Quipu counting system, and where there were different colored strings representing different things, like knots or numbers. There were aqueducts and suspension bridges. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe for more videos like this one, and please watch the whole series for more information about world history by Think Sapling.